Good morning, Detective. I hope you are comfortable.
Bonjour, mademoiselle. The room was more than...
I can't imagine any of us slept soundly.
Hopefully guilt will be weighing heavily on...
I'm sorry if I was not much help last night, Detective.
On the contrary, your inside knowledge of the guests was of great help.
His position? You mean about...
Oui, even in a house this size.
I enjoyed having him here. When I was away with Gideon, it was comforting to know Maman was not alone. Although...
What can you tell me about their relationship? Working...
There is not much to tell, only that there is no love. He was always quite private about his work. I know that...
I found a check addressed to the Major from Monsieur Dacier.
Ah, that's right, security. With his military training, he helped... A development? Oh, Detective.
It may not be the...
Addressed to me? I don't...
Pardonnez-moi, mademoiselle. Although it has been written...
I'm sorry, Detective. I don't understand.
I found it in the Major's study yesterday. What...
Heavens no. He could not do that.
You did not hesitate.
Why would he do such a thing? And...
Merci for your time, mademoiselle.
Useful?
Exactement. Another success. Bonjour, Monsieur Damier.
Detective Poirot, how are you?
The truth, Monsieur. With each step towards uncovering the blackmailer...
Is there something I can help you with? Archibald came to me and asked for my help in the matter. My brother...
Merci for your help. It is a job that only...
It's a job that had to be done. Although it may have affected my brother more...
How so?
At the sight of the body, the color drained from his face. Felix and Madame Vandenbosch are the only ones with keys, as far as I'm aware. Oh, and Archibald. I have not seen him since last night. He does not need his younger brother checking in on him.
Perhaps that is exactly what he required.
I'm not sure what he told you yesterday, Detective, but he's a big boy.
I worry that may not be the case, Monsieur. His time in the war...
He's still talking about it? I thought talking to the doctor...
Merci. Countess, I wonder...
That is it, Detective? No small talk? No...
I am afraid not, Countess. With the murderer still loose in...
Well then, Detective, perhaps I can be of...
Comment, madame?
I thought you might like to know what I found on the... That certainly piqued your interest.
A man has been murdered, and you find it acceptable?
Oh, please, detective. Do you really think so little of me?
It was not his place to grant you access to the body.
I shall remember to keep my assistance to myself. A single stab wound, which you no doubt already knew. The knife... Judging by the depth of the wound, I would say there was no great... If I had to say what weapon was used, a small sharp knife or...
I understand it may be difficult for one to keep such information to yourself, but I...
You are what...
S'il vous plaît, Comtesse. Keep this information to... Huh. Magnifique.
If it will help you find the Major... When he returned from the war, he was a different man.
I cannot speak from experience, but...
The first weeks he would wake in the night, screaming. I found him one night.
That is not why you two are no longer...
And not at all, detective. We were always very different in nature. While I...
And yet, he ended up in the military.
Our father demanded that he at least try to do something with his life. It wasn't long before he moved out from the family home after his return from the army. I owe...
Good morning, Detective.
I'm afraid I did not. I was finding the Major's killer is the only...
In that case, Detective, in that snow, if someone was out there, we'd have another...
I realize how strange it sounds.
Staff have reported seeing things in the dark before. I'm afraid our Lizzie is not well. I think the events...
As Wordsworth once stated, rest and be thankful. Perhaps...
She is currently eating breakfast alone in the dining room. I would, but I'm afraid I found this morning that the telephone lines are... Even if we could use the telephone, I don't think anyone would...
In that case, it will be...
I'll let you know if anything changes. Taken care of. Master Demir and his brother, after sobering up, helped me move him into the cellar.
Très bien. I imagine there is...
Besides me, no one. Once this snow clears...
Your assistant has... Ah. Oh. Aha. Oh. Aha. Ah. Bonjour, madame. You must be the wonderful...
Wonderful and modest, sir.
My taste buds thank you for the ravishing meal last night.
Glad to hear it, sir.
S'il te plaît, madame.
In that case, mademoiselle is fine for me.
Très bon, mademoiselle.
That's right. I've seen staff come and go.
I agree. But if I was to eat what you
Not a bad thing, detective.
Well, with the snow still not clearing...
I did. Monsieur Archie told me...
How was the Major when you...
Grumpy. As all.
I suppose one would not take kindly to being...
Punched or not, he was as ungrateful as...
I shall not keep you any... Bonjour, madame. May I...
Thank you, Detective, but they are not necessary.
I was hoping you would be prepared to answer some...
If I must. I'm sure you're aware he was not the easy...
A hot temper is reason enough to...
His mouth often acted before his brain. Seeing as I heard Mr. Becker's in what I would...
You heard them yourself.
How could I not? The volume they were shouting at.
You did not think it fitting to tell me this yet?
I didn't think Felix was going to wind up dead and a murderer loose in my hand. I assume you are talking about...
Oui, madame.
It arrived shortly after the first.
I'm not sure I understand.
He no doubt had secrets hidden away. But do you honestly think...
Perhaps you should enlighten...
Well, he was here, living in my house, eating my food. I wouldn't put it past him to have written it himself, in the hopes of getting some sympathy.
And the other letters?
He probably wrote those too. If Angeline paid the first, that would have given him the money to pay the second letter. He is the White Knight. What is it you wish?
You two have been friends for some time.
If you are trying to insinuate that Mr. De Silva and I are...
Oui, I understand they worked together.
Mr. De Silva was the voice of reason that my husband should have listened to more often.
Merci, madame. What a revelation!
there something I can help? You have got the wrong end of the stick, Detective. It was something to do with the letter. I heard them in the library before Maman
Could it have been the blackmail letter that...
Why would Maman be upset with him over...
Madame is of a very different opinion from yourself.
That is what she told you? She has always been one to make a quick... I don't recall telling him directly. I did not want...
Madame believes he may have been behind all the letters and taking your...
I never knew Maman had such an imagination.
That is a question I was hoping...
You have met him? Do you really think...
It is a plan only the most crooked and underhanded could... I shall not keep you any... I should not be surprised.
Is there something I'm afraid it had been that way for some time. Maman is not forthcoming with her emotions, as I'm sure.
What gave you that impression?
There was not one particular thing that she expressed.
I shall not keep you...
Whatever you need. Certainly, Detective.
Huh. Aha. Oh. Oh. The pieces of the puzzle are... What a revelation! The pieces of the...
Detective Poirot, I have been asked to inform you that Lady Vandenbosch has returned to her room.
Merci, Madame.
They may not be the exact words she used, but...
Huh. Ah. Oh. Aha. Huh. Oh. Ah. I should not be surprised by my own skills of deduction.
Detective Poirot, are you any closer to uncovering the truth?
I am, mademoiselle. I can confirm.
So the author is still out?
Oui, but it will not be long before they are apprehended.
Your confidence is rather assuring. I'm sorry, Detective.
No apology is required. It actually made me question my whole chain of thinking.
Oh my, Detective, that...
Every guest has a motive. You confirmed that with the mention of Mademoiselle Conrad and the Major's fight. So
But not you.
correct, mademoiselle. It would take...
I haven't seen that book in so long. Yes, it was a gift for my 10th birthday.
It sounds as though there is a side to the Major I did not...
Not common, but if he had been away for some time, he would... They were. I'm afraid they may have gathered some dust being in the storage.
It sounds as though he had always cared.
His presence at the house was comforting for us both after... That's right. Ever since I can remember, Felix had...
It seems as though she has a number of support networks. The Major, her friendship with the Countess, not for...
Maman has many friends. I know how she may seem to mod...
There is a further shell waiting to be broken.
Oh, very good, Detective.
Forgive me, mademoiselle.
It's quite all right. You are not the only one that feels a razor tongue. She's... They have often come to blows when it concerns Maman. They are both trying...
She spoke of his desire to join the...
This isn't the first time she has vocalized that concern.
And you do not agree?
I will not deny he has shown interest in Maman's social circles, but they have been friends since even before... How do you mean, Detective?
I imagine a house of this size is rather costly.
Maman looks after the financial side of the house, but I think she had...
I shall not keep you any longer.
Detective Poirot, what...
I have something I wish to...
Well, I hope it is important enough to just...
I assure you it is.
Good, because this has gone on far too long.
I can understand your frustrations.
You were once an incompetent officer, and now it...
If I was not being lied to and misled at every turn...
I hope you are not suggesting...
I am suggesting that if I had the support that everyone claimed...
If you have something you want to ask... We met before Angeline was born, so he was...
And where was it you two met?
I was attending an event. Felix was also in attendance at...
So, it was not through the Viscount.
I did not require my husband to start
It was you that instigated...
My, detective. That active Edwin spent much of his time away on business before Angeline was born.
You were alone in the house.
The staff continued their duties, of course, but trying to get any sort...
And when Angeline was born?
Edwin remained at home. It was his duty as a father.
And the Major?
He had his own business and life to tend to, but we remained in touch. I'm sure he has hundreds of letters in there, most of them...
I refer to the letter addressed to you.
romantic nature. Please, detective...
He made his intentions quite clear in...
You really do have quite the active imagination, detective.
I think that is all for... Huh. Oh. Is there something? Come, my little Grace. This will not get me. I must take a different... I cannot see the logic. I must act on thought. Is there something? This will not get me. I must take a different... Another success. I never... Order and method. Some would say a lucky guess.
Is this real? He may have stayed in my home, but Felix was...
But it does not surprise you that he...
We have been friends, and he has been there for Angeline for many years, but you find it strange.
What I do find strange is that...
If he did, it was not reciprocated.
I think that is all for... Things are beginning to become...
Is this really necessary? Who I allow in my house is none of your business.
I did not think you were one for chap.
I would not expect you to think much of anything. He was a man that required no protection.
That is the impression I had of him, which is why...
Your insistent questioning on such trivial... Your continued probing into something... There is nothing I can tell you. I have grown weary.
Madame, you continue to...
And you continue to get on my last...
But when it impedes my...
If only you were this fit...
Madame.
Very well. I did not lie about how we met. I was attending an event, raising money for... it had been some time since I had returned home. He was a warm reminder of home, and I enjoyed conversing with him. I shall go no further with the details, but I will say, I have...
The Viscount never questioned?
In his mind, he had no reason to, and he shouldn't have had... I told Felix that he was to stay away, but he had... I could not tell her the truth.
And what were the Major's thoughts on revealing...
He wanted to tell her everything. He wanted her to know exactly who he was, but I told him no. It must be, but I have told no.
And the Major?
Felix promised me he wouldn't tell a soul, and I believe...
You did not think anyone knew, and that is...
If you bow to these criminals... I tried to retrieve them from the safe after everyone had retired last night.
When I entered the study this morning, they were as visible...
I would appreciate if you did not compare them to the
Pardon, Madame.
But that does mean someone else in the house.
A mystery that is still yet to be solved. I think that is all for now.
Detective Poirot, how is your investigation?
Monsieur Starling, I must admit, I have...
You'll be rapping.
One has never finished learning, monsieur, and it...
It might help to vocalize your thinking.
Monsieur, would you gather the guests and staff in the...
Right away, Detective.
I shall reveal all once everyone is...
Detective, what is the meaning of all this?
Madame, I ask that you all lend me your ears for only a few moments. What I have to say is of great significance to everyone. You are all invited here to celebrate the engagement of Mademoiselle Angeline van den Bosch and Monsieur Gédéon Demire, the coming together of two prevalent families. But the celebrations were short-lived, as Major Felix Hagen was found dead in his study by a young servant of the house. It then became my responsibility and obligation as a detective to uncover the truth behind his demise. My initial examination of his study exposed a number of things I did not expect to find. Things I have no desire to divulge at this time, but what I can say is this. It was no simple murder. A letter demanding ransom for a continued silence confirmed this. I am sure some, if not all of you, have heard whispers of a series of blackmails that have plagued the social elite in recent weeks. After hearing of the letters in the major study, you may ask if it was him behind the letters. You may further ask if he was preparing his next threat to another unsuspecting victim. It is a question that crossed even my mind. That was until I sought the truth. That in fact it was the Major that had fallen victim to our blackmailer Mystérieux. Last night I spoke with you all, confirmed your whereabouts in the house over the course of the evening, and while I would have expected such questioning to reveal a potential suspect, what I learned was that it could not have been one of you.
What do you mean, not one of us? The man was stabbed. He hardly did that to himself. There is still a killer in the house.
Pardon, monsieur, if you would allow me to finish. It could not have been only one of you. Rather a partnership, in cahoots, if you will. Conversations today have revealed facts that I was not expecting to discover. And although they may have muddied and complicated my investigation, what I must do to bring the guilty parties to justice has become clearer. Those of you that spun stories in an attempt to confuse and derail my investigation have made a grave mistake in underestimating my intelligence. Other detectives may fall for such deception, but I can assure you, Detective Poirot is no such fool. My investigation is far from over, and swift justice shall be dealt to those that have committed such appalling acts and have continued to mislead and lie to protect themselves. Now, I must continue mon enquête, and I shall leave you to consider that you may be beside a cold-hearted killer. Bonsoir. Monsieur Sterling, un moment.
Quite the speech, Detective.
Merci, but it was not made to entertain, more to warn the guilty.
Well, if there is anything, Nothing. But I was so preoccupied with the Major. Sorry, Detective.
Perhaps it was just my mind playing
Maybe one of the guests got lost, and one... Master Hagen had a key, obviously, and Lady Vandenbosch. When requested, aye. If something is required from there when Master Hagen is not around.
Forgive me. If he is not around, how is...
It's not what you think, Detective.
What I think is that you have been trusted with a copy of the key, and you have...
I only lied because of the trouble I can get into with Lady Vandenbosch.
At this moment, monsieur, you should be more worried about the trouble you shall find...
I know how it will sound, but I lost my key. I must have set it down somewhere, and it has been tidied away. I must... I should have said this morning.
Monsieur, I am not quite sure you understand the...
I am well aware, Detective. I just thought...
Would you allow a man with a smoking gun to remove his bullet from a victim?
I suppose not. Is that really necessary?
The murderer remains at large, and there is still no...
Of course. I still...
It may be hard. I would like to begin my searches now.
I may not be back when you return. Here is the key to the other...
Merci. I shall...
Entrez. Detective, what a pleasure.
In a purely professional capacity,
There is no need to act.
Madame, after the revelation of your actions last night,
I will not apologize again for merely trying to help. That would be Inga. She has been one of the most...
Madame Vandenbosch took in a young lady from your shelter.
There is no need to sound so surprised, Detective. She does have a...
I did not mean to sound so cruel. I just did not expect Madame to hire someone of that background.
People change, Detective.
Believe me, Countess.
Be careful, Detective. Not all...
It is your actions in this house that have been questionable, Madame.
We do what we can. We wouldn't be doing a very good job if I could only help one girl. I in fact found...
She has fitted into Monsieur's...
What is better, Detective? That she remained in an abusive house? Or she...
When put like that... Is...
The happiest she has been in years.
Merci, Madame. Huh.
Go ahead. A compliment and now an apology. Well, Detective,
There was something I was still unsure of.
from my days as a nurse,
If that is so, why would you have
one must always be prepared, Detective.
prepared at an...
If I had not brought them, I would not have been able to assist you last night.
Merci.
Detective, what can I do for you?
Mademoiselle, I am sure you...
If it's going to clear my name, be my guest.
If you wouldn't mind answering some...
Like I said, he's not the man he wants everyone to...
Oui. But how is...
You don't really want me to recount every conversation I've had.
There is one particular I had in mind.
An argument would imply it was a two-way
And that is not how it was?
Here it is. I've been helping Angeline get exposure, her marriage to Gideon is big news, and his work.
What was there not to love?
Your guess is as good as mine, Detective. But if I had to...
And his reason to storm off?
Oh, you know about that. Let's just say I didn't accept his pathetic attempt to get me to stop the story.
I would not say fascination. An interest, but...
Well, I'll save you the bother of trying to find out more about him. He's not...
That is not the impression I got of...
That's because you've only seen the side of him he wants you to. Let me guess. The first thing he told you was that he was
a man that is proud of his work.
Don't get me wrong, he has a way with words, and he can certainly rally a crowd. But that's about it.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Sure thing, Detective.
If I do change it, you shall... Oh. Ah.
Go right ahead. All Felix cared about was money, and filling his pockets with it.
The Major was not in need of money, though.
Need and want are two very different things. Did he need to move here and leech off the Madame? As far as I know, De Silva hired him to work security. He was worried what could happen to his
And your reporters were there to cover the story when it did turn that way.
My reporters go where there is news to be...
And you predicted the violent...
Anyone could see that was gonna happen. If you ask me, Hugo should have acted...
Merci, mademoiselle. Aha. Aha. Huh. Aha. mademoiselle.
Bonjour, Monsieur Poirot.
Just a detective.
Bon, can I help you? I was taking him a plate of food, but he didn't answer.
You then entered the study.
I did. He wasn't.
I did not mean to upset you again. Seeing him there would be trouble.
I suppose we're like a family. We argue, but
You must all be quite close.
some more than others.
You refer to...
Well, Maman Hay, sorry, Rihanna, she's been here the longest. Maman Hay is Luke's sister. You did... I thought she would have said. She talks about him all the time. Apparently, he was right at the front when they were charged. They didn't stand a chance. If I had been...
Mademoiselle Rihanna, Maman Ray.
Every time she talks about what happened. I guess you wouldn't know anything about that.
It is not an experience I have had to face personally.
The lifestyle of a thief, you mean?
Put rather bluntly.
You are the first officer that has not taken one look at me and pulled...
Mademoiselle, I can see you have turned your life around.
Without the Countess, I would probably...
Merci, madame. Monsieur Demir, I hope you are feeling better today.
Nothing a good night's sleep couldn't fix.
Très bien. I wonder if you would be up to discussing certain matters with me.
Whatever you need. I lost my taste for death a long time ago.
Most understandable. I shall extend the same gratitude.
You've spoken to him already. How is he?
Perhaps that should be a question.
Yeah, maybe. I bet he had a lot to say. He always did have an opinion on the...
When I say your past,
Oh. Okay, well, what did he say?
it seems you both had the same sentiment for this party. Perhaps the bridges that you thought were once burnt.
We'll see how probable that reconstruction is going to be.
What is there for him to understand before the bond can be repaired?
He lost his friends in the war, the same as everyone. But those two, close.
They must share something in common to be able to hold the conversation.
If there is one thing I know about my brother, it's that he will not. No.
Was it not your brother that punched Monsieur Hagen?
Ah, that's different. He was asking for it. If you put my brother in a room...
Merci for your assistance. Huh. Oh.
Always got time for my favorite... The dagger. I wondered how...
I shall give you the opportunity to explain the reason for it being...
It was going to be a wedding gift for Gideon. I've made... After what happened to the Major...
You did not see it fitting to tell me you were harboring a
I wouldn't say harboring. And I wasn't...
Merci for your assistance. Come, my little... I should not be surprised. Ah. Oh. What a revelation! Things are beginning to become... Monsieur de Silva, I am sure you understand the...
Not really, Detective. Your speech...
I have not had my abilities questioned.
Well, if you wish to prove me wrong...
And I hope, with your help...
Yes, I helped him invest some money.
Madame Vandenbosch had a very similar view. At least...
I think you're confused, Detective. It was Edwin.
Forgive my naivete. If you were helping him make...
I told him about the opportunities. I did not tell him to put his whole family's wealth...
The business declared bank?
It did. Until it was purchased for... everything that I want to...
I understand, monsieur. But what I would...
Excuse me, Detective.
Cross the line like an attempt to bankrupt a business partner and...
You make such ridiculous
Your reaction at the mere suggestion is proof enough, monsieur. While I cannot...
He didn't have much to speak of.
Surprised in what way?
Well, considering it wasn't that long ago,
You offered him a position.
nothing that he was willing to lower himself to. If you can call what him and his team did security.
It was a
There's no need to divulge amounts. He said they were all professionals, but I saw nothing of the sort.
But that was not the...
I had not even met them before they arrived on site. They brought...
And this equipment. It included the weapons that...
It was not much of a choice, Detective. I said that...
That is all for now.
What is it?
I have spoken of a potential blackmail ring, and yet you still kept your...
It is none of your business. And it is nothing...
If that were the case, it would be strange for...
Your persistence is a... No reason, Detective. Merely saving...
I will be the judge of that. I would like to know... I trust there is nothing else you deem.
Of course not, officer. It's not as though you think I'm I have never heard so much rubbish in all my life.
That suggests there are some that you do...
Yes, well, why should I praise someone for...
Monsieur, the letter does not only discuss your...
Detective, there is a
And it is you that decides where that line is drawn?
In my house? Yes, it is. Excuse me? Detective, I think...
I do not think it is unreasonable to question why you would feel...
Really, Detective, if I had stabbed a man... Yes, and no one asked him to.
But surely it is beneficial to both parties.
There are barely any profit.
Why have those talks not taken place and a deal arranged?
Monsieur Beckers has made no attempt to speak with me and offered no counter-offer. Please stop calling it that. I treat all my...
That does not mean your behavior...
They have one chance. If they are not doing the job they are hired to do, they are gone.
Is there a specific member of staff?
There is one girl, a new maid. I didn't expect great things.
That is all for now. I cannot see the logic. I must act on... This will not get me... Magnifique. The pieces of the puzzle are fine. Some would say a lucky guess.
What is... She approached me.
In what way?
Assuming that I would want to take on another servant, and one from such a troubled background. When he came to me, I told him that with the factories on strike and my profits pouring down the drain, I had nothing for him. But he said he could... His rates were steep, but he said he knew what needed to be done, and he was prepared to do it. He made excuse after excuse, demanding more and more.
The riots.
I had no idea they were going to charge them.
And even following such a tragedy.
He said if he wanted my silence, it would cost. Do you have any idea what it could do to my life?
I have every idea, monsieur. You hired a militia to take action against...
I didn't know that was what he was going to...
I have to believe nothing but the truth. And the truth... That is all for now. Another success.
Is there something you need? She helped me at the shelter, and...
That I am already aware of. What...
Pardon, detective?
I know that your position as a servant in this house is not...
She said I had to do what she asked, or I would be back on the street. I did...
Merci, mademoiselle.
The pieces of the... Some would say it.
Is there something you need, detective? Nothing. She said
If it was not something she wished you to take,
she wanted me to find out information about the family.
why did she request that?
At first I didn't know, but when I heard about Mademoiselle Angeline being blackmailed, I knew Monsieur Archie had a key, and it...
You knew that the Major asked Monsieur Sterling to access the safe from...
I never took anything. I only told the...
And that was?
about Monsieur Hagen and the Madame's relationship.
I'm sure the Countess was pleased to hear such...
She said I had done a good job, but I needed proof. I fetched the letters again and took them to the Countess last night.
You were only doing as she requested?
She said it was too dangerous for her to have them with... I thought I heard someone on the stairs.
Merci, mademoiselle.
Come, my little grape. I must take a different... Magnifique. I should not be surprised. I cannot see the... Is there some... Another success.
Mademoiselle,
Have you had a breakthrough, Detective?
I have. Finally, I have the...
Please, Detective, don't hold... Oh my, I feel faint at the thought of...
It is said to keep your friends close, but your enemies closer.
I don't believe it!
Not only his, but a...
She was blackmailing him as well. Detective,
Take a moment, mademoiselle. It is a lot of information.
I just don't understand. She has never been particularly forthcoming with it. Only
And it is there that the Countess abused her power.
all this time she has been working for Margot.
I am afraid so, mademoiselle.
Is Maman aware?
You are the first I have told, mademoiselle.
I'm afraid that will happen. And we will. I want to see her punished to the fullest extent.
Monsieur Archibald informed me earlier I had...
Last night? They have been done all weekend, Detective. Detective? Detective Poirot? Would you like me to fetch you a glass of water?
My apologies, mademoiselle. I was... Merci, mademoiselle.